Emmy Noether was born in the small university city of Erlangen in Germany on March 23, 1882. Her father, Max Noether, was an eminent professor of mathematics at the University of Erlangen. Her mother was Ida Amalia Kaufmann, whose family were wealthy.
She loved mathematics, but she knew that the rules of German society meant she would not be allowed to follow in her father's footsteps to become a university academic.
After completing high school, she attended the Municipal School for Higher Education of Towers in Ireland. She trained to become a school teacher, qualifying in 1900, age 18. To teach English and French girls in school.
Career in teaching offered her financial security. Her love of mathematics proved to be too strong. She decided to abandon teaching and apply to the University of Ireland to observe mathematics lectures there. She could only observe the lecture because women were not permitted to enroll officially at the university.
Between 1900 and 1902, Emmy studied mathematics at Erlangen. In July 1903, she traveled to the city of Nuremberg and passed the matriculation examination, allowing her to study mathematics at any German university. Emmy chose to go for a semester to the University of Göttingen, then home to the most prestigious school of mathematics in the world.
Some of the great mathematicians in history had taught and been taught at Göttingen, including Carl Friedrich Gauss and Bernhard Riemann. In 1904, Emmy was overjoyed to learn that her hometown university, England, had decided women should be permitted full access.
She was accepted as a PhD student by the renowned mathematician Paul Jordan. Jordan was 67 when Emily started work with him. She was the only student he ever accepted as a PhD candidate.
In 1907, the 25-year-old Emmy officially became Dr. Noether. His degree was awarded summa cum laude, the highest distinction possible.
In 1915, Hilbert invited her to become a lecturer in Göttingen. Unfortunately, this provoked a storm of protest from the history and linguistics faculties, who did not think it appropriate that a woman should be teaching men, particularly since Germany was at war, World War I, 1914 and 1918. Although in general the mathematics and science faculties support Noether, they could not overcome the opposition from the humanities.
Hilbert now discusses one particular problem with Noether. He was deeply concerned that, despite in attraction, relativity theory was breaking on one of the unbreakable conservation law of physics. He believed that the Hare expressive invariant theory could be helpful.
Noether hit the ground running in Göttingen. In the year she arrived, she proved something remarkable, something so beautiful and profound that it changed the face of physics forever, Noether's theorem, which she eventually published in 1918.
Her famous theorem was born when Noether considered Gilbert and Einstein's problem that general relative theory seemed to break the law of conservation the energy.
Noether discovered that for every invariant in the university there is a conservation law. Equally, for every conservation law in physics there is a variant. This is a Noether's theorem. and it describes a fundamental property of our universe.
Noether theorem also solved the worrying puzzle in general relativity that she had initially set out to solve. Her theorem shows that if matter and gravity are considered to be one unified quantity rather than separate quantities, then there is no violation of any conservation law.
Noether's theorem revolutionized physics. In 1919, the full force of the powerful mind turned towards pure mathematics. In this discipline, she was one of the principal architects of abstract algebra.
Then, in January 1933, everything changed. Adolf Hitler came to power. By April of that year, Noether, who was Jewish, had been dismissed from the University of Göttingen by order of the Prussian Ministry for Sciences, Art and Public Education. Sadly, in Nazi ideology, Emmy Noether's religion was of more significance than her extraordinary genius.
Fortunately, her genius was valued elsewhere. Bryn Mawr College in Pennsylvania, USA, a women's college, obtained a grant from the Rockefeller Foundation, and in October 1933, Emmy Noether sailed on the Bremen to begin work as a lecturer in America.
The following year, she also began lecture at the Institution for Advanced Study in Precision.
A year later, she was dead. She died of complication a few days after an operation to remove a tumor of her pelvis. The cause of death was possibly a viral infection. Her ashes were buried under the cloisters of Bryn Mawr College, Carrie Thomas Library.